Sometimes they can't hit a barn door with a banjo.
I might shock you a little bit.
That does shock me.
It's added a little bit of spice.
That's a good stat.
I think that's a sweet each way shout.
Welcome to Sun Sports Weekend Wager in partnership with Betfair, where every Friday afternoon we use in-depth stats and razor-sharp analysis to unearth the best value bets from the upcoming sporting weekend. I'm Will Pugh, and helping me this week is football broadcaster Kwaku Afari, and a man who can spot value so fast he should be on the Antiques Roadshow. It's Betfair's Sam Rosbottom. Sam, as always, will be judging which of our punts are most on the money, and of course revealing some hidden value wagers of his own. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you think of our bets in the comments. Gentlemen, absolutely wonderful to see you again. Kwaku's had a new haircut. Sam, you've got the same one as last week.
It works for me. You're going to have to try it out, Kwaku, should you?
Yeah.
I'm not going for the Rosbottom quite yet.
You're not doing it yet,
No.
just bowling the barbers and show a picture of Sam. That's what I do, yeah. Gentlemen, another successful week on Weekend Wager last week. 2 of our 6 FA Cup bets came in, not quite as good as the 50% hit rate the week before, but Sam Rosbottom, our resident betting expert, none for you.
It's a first.
It's a first.
It is
to
a
be
first,
fair.
yeah. The first time that I've not put a winner up, but I'm hoping that will not be the case today. I'm pretty confident with what I've got in store for you guys.
Absolutely, can't wait to hear those. Yeah, so Man City to win and De Bruyne to score. Kwaku, that came in very late in the 3-1 win against Plymouth, didn't it? Yeah, 11-8 there. And I had Bruno Fernandes to score any time at 5-2. A wonderful finish against Fulham in the FA Cup. Look, let us know if you had any winners last week, and of course what wagers and punts you'll be having this week in the comments.
Told you I was right.
Gentlemen, only one place to start this weekend. The biggest game of the Premier League. Manchester United take on Arsenal at Old Trafford. 14th plays second. Super Sunday, of course. Kwaku, excited for this one?
Very excited. This is the all eyes on me fixture.
It is, very much so. Manchester United lost on penalties, of course, to Fulham at home in the FA Cup at the weekend. Arsenal smashed PSV Eindhoven, did they not? 7-1 in the Champions League, all but through to the next stage. What are you saying, Kwaku, for this massive game at Old Trafford? Obviously less time to rest for United with that European game against Sociedad.
It's a huge game at Old Trafford, but it feels like the least consequential Manchester United versus Arsenal game in years.
It really does,
I
yeah.
think the league title was done and Manchester United are Manchester United. But for this one, I've got Arsenal to win and over 2.5 goals in the game, 21-10.
Okay,
And
go on.
if you look at this Arsenal team, they're strange when it comes to results. Sometimes they can't hit a barn door with a banjo, and sometimes, like we saw midweek against PSV, they can put multiple goals in against the opposition. But I'm looking at Manchester United, and in 6 of their last 7 games at Old Trafford, the opposition has scored at least 2 goals. And so I'm looking at them defensively, I'm looking at them in terms of Onana, the way that he doesn't fill the fans with confidence. They're a team that do leak goals, especially at home. And also, Manchester United have lost their last 4 games against Arsenal in the Premier League. It's the worst losing run against the Gunners in their league history. So I think we know how this game's going.
Yeah, that first stat is a bit of a stinker, isn't it? Sam, this will give you your chance, your weekly chance to say Man United are terrible on screen.
I might shock you a little bit, but I think they're turning a corner slightly.
That does shock me. I am going Mikel Merino to score first at 13-2. He's deputising for injured Kai Havertz, of course. He's got 3 goals in his last 4 appearances, notched one of the 7 at PSV, didn't he? And got 2 off the bench in that sort of striker debut. But as well as the Merino stats, since the weekend of Ruben Amorim's first game in charge of United, just after the November international break, that was, only Leicester with 13 have conceded the opening goal in more different Premier League games than Manchester United, who have gone 1-0 down 12 times.
That's
since
a good stat.
That is, isn't it? I mean, not good for Amorim, to be fair. And what about this one? Arsenal have scored in each of their last 10 Premier League away games against Manchester United, 13 goals in those 10 games, having only managed to score 10 in their first 22 visits to Old Trafford in the competition. Sam, you've got Mikel Merino to score first at 13-2, and you've got Kwaku's Arsenal to win and over 2.5 goals at 21-10. What are you having, and what have you got for us?
I'm going to come straight in here and say, Will, I like your punt. First goal scorer, Merino. I think that's a decent shout. I like it because I don't think Arsenal are going to win this game.
Really?
You have to go back to December the 1st for the last time Manchester United won a first half. That was against Everton at Old Trafford. But they have won the second half in 8 of their last 11 matches.
Yeah.
They've
had to, haven't they?
Yeah. So they are getting back into games, which is why on Sunday what I really like is in the half-time, full-time market, Arsenal draw at 12-1. So that's Arsenal to win the first half and the match to end a draw. So looking at some of the other markets for a little bit of context here on this, Arsenal are 7-5 to be winning at half-time. Arsenal to score the first goal are 4-7. But as the stats show, Manchester United are turning into a second-half team.
Yeah.
So that's why I can see this being a nice punt at 12-1.
Fair. So mine and yours could come in, couldn't they?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Look, as always, if you're having a bet this weekend, please play responsibly and take time to think. Visit begambleaware.org.
Told you I was right.
OK, gentlemen, we seem to cover Wolves and Everton an awful lot on Weekend Wager, and that's not because of my undying love for David Moyes, I promise. But 17th plays 16th at Molineux on Saturday night, 8 p.m, kick-off on the telly. You sort of feel there isn't really a relegation battle going on, don't you? So I was going to bill this as a bottom-of-the-table decider, but no one really thinks, Kwaku, that either of these teams are going down?
No, none of these teams are going down. You look at what David Moyes has done at Everton since he returned to the football club. You look at Wolves, led by obviously Mateus Cunha up top, and their ability to score goals. They're not going down either. So there's less jeopardy in this game.
Exactly, and they're not as bad as the 3 teams currently in the bottom 3, are
I think
they?
that's the big point. I think Wolves are fortunate this season that there are 3 teams that are a lot worse than they are at the minute.
Exactly that, yeah. Right, Kwaku, Wolves lost at Bournemouth on pens in the FA Cup last weekend and lost 2-1 at home to Fulham last time out in the Premier League. Everton, on the other hand, drew 1-0 at Brentford, but that still makes their run 1-4 and drawn 3 since David Moyes lost that first game. Talk to me, Kwaku.
We mentioned about the Everton turnaround. A lot of that's been off the back of Beto, their front man. I've got Beto to score at any time, 21-10 again.
I feel like we've just done this episode before, haven't we? The Beto to score. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, he scored 5 goals in his last 5 Premier League games. That's more than his previous 44 games, which is he only scored 1 goal.
That's unbelievable.
I know,
That is
I know.
unbelievable.
And in the absence of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's been very, very important. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin perpetually injured, out with a hamstring injury. So they are relying on Beto. Also, in his last 5 Premier League matches, he's had 2 or more shots on target. So I expect him to come to the fore for Everton this weekend.
At what point do you think Mikel Arteta's going to pick the phone up to his old club and inquire about their star striker at the minute?
Getting Beto in place of Merino, yeah. Well, fingers crossed my bet can come in first with Merino. Sam, I'm also going for another bet that I've backed this season, but the stats, I read them out then and they are still ringing true. That is Jurgen Strand-Larsen for Wolves to have 2+ shots on target, 11-4 that one is. Jurgen Strand-Larsen has been targeted by passes in the box 85 times this season, which is the most of any player in the Premier League. And also, only Dominic Solanke has made more forward runs into the opposition penalty box at 237 than Strand-Larsen has. He's really a focal point for Wolves. Behind Cunha, he's been one of their sort of unsung heroes almost, getting a lot of the credit that Wolves have been getting has been going towards Cunha. I think Strand-Larsen's been doing some good work and he's a real asset to them. So 11-4. Sam, you got Strand-Larsen, 2+ shots on target, 11-4. Or Kwaku's Beto goal anytime, 21-10.
This is a tough one because I really like both selections here. I think obviously,
bet builder.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Obviously, with Cunha missing as well for Wolves through suspension, you think that's going to surely play in the hands of your selection there, Will. But I'm going to side with Kwaku.
You do this all the time, man.
I know it's 1-1 now, and I'm honestly not a fence sitter, but I really like, the value for Beto to score. Obviously, we've mentioned the run he's been on. He's 15-8 to have 2 or more shots on target again. Another option that I really fancy, Jack Harrison, who has been very unfortunate.
He really has.
He has an unwanted record. He's got the highest expected goals total of any player yet to score in the Premier League this season at 2.9. So
basically saying he should have got 3 goals so far this season.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not actually going to go with him to score though.
Right.
But I do think there's value in him to have a shot on target. What we know about his XG is that he's creating chances, he should be scoring. So with that in mind, Jack Harrison to have 1 or more shots on target, currently 6-4. When we look at his shots record, 7 shots in his last 6 games. So he is creating the chances. And we just need 1 of them on target this weekend, please, Jack.
As everyone knows, I hate XG. But I read something interesting the other day that Everton have actually had a slightly lower XG under David Moyes than they did under Sean Dyche. But Beto made a massive part of that. They're just so clinical, aren't they?
They are so clinical in the final third. And obviously there's a lot of goodwill around the football club at the moment, and players are showing something a little bit different than they showed under Sean Dyche. But it's credit to David Moyes, a man that you know very well in terms of the job that he's done at Everton. I bet you wish you had him back.
Oh, don't get me started. As always, let us know if you like our bets in the comments and if you're having any Premier League punts of your own.
Told you I was right.
Gentlemen, it's that time of the week again where the punters up and down the country fancy a flutter on something that isn't football. Well, this is the place to be. The Six Nations returns. Sam, England host Italy on Sunday. After that first defeat to Ireland, they've kind of been scraping through, haven't they? Won by just a point in their last 2 games, including that 16-15 victory over Scotland last time out. Talk to us about the egg chasing, Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see England winning by a point for a change rather than losing by a point, which is, what they were doing before this Six Nations kicked off. But look, England, absolutely massive favourites against Italy. They're as short as 1-25. The upset, Italy to win at Twickenham, 14-1. The draw, 50-1. So not a great load of value there on backing England. But we laugh about how tight England games have been. And Italy, so far this tournament, aren't the whipping boys that they usually are.
Well, they're not bottom, are they?
No, that's now Wales. Wales are the whipping boys, not Italy. So I'm looking at the handicap market here, and I think there's an opportunity to get Italy on side at +16, which is 2-1. So essentially, England can win the game.
Yep.
But if they win by a margin smaller than 16 points, then we win the bet. I don't think it's going to be tight, obviously, because England should do the business. But I don't think it's going to be as big a gap as everybody's anticipating here. Italy, it was close against Scotland as well. They had their moments against France, although they did get obliterated, let's be honest. Again, I just don't think the market is quite right on Italy. Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Sam. And to be fair, you've lived up to your Antiques Roadshow build-up in the intro there, because that is a little bit of value where otherwise, like you say, in a game like that, typically hard to find. What else you got for the fixtures this weekend?
Yeah, so just looking at some of the other ones, obviously the massive game is Ireland-France. I was in Dublin earlier this week and it's absolutely buzzing. Everyone's excited for that game because it looks as though this is going to be the Grand Slam decider, doesn't it? Remember, we had that boost, didn't we, before the tournament kicked off? Ireland or France to win the Grand Slam 6-4. It's only Ireland who can go on to do that now, and they've got France in the way. Ireland 5-6, the draw 18-1, France 11-10. But Dublin is absolutely buzzing. If France do win, it opens a can of worms, if you like, in terms of who could then go on to win the Six Nations. So it's going to be interesting, whatever happens.
Exactly, yeah. It will keep it lively, won't it, if France get over the line in that one. Talk to me about the horses, Sam. It's the week before Cheltenham. That's what everyone's talking about, but big meet before that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the Betfair Imperial Cup at Sandown on Saturday. The Jockey Club have done a really nice initiative here as well. They've put up a £100,000 bonus to the winner of the Betfair Imperial Cup if they follow that up with a win at Cheltenham next week. So, yeah, it's added a little bit of spice to the race. Obviously, lots of movement already in the market following that news. Last year's winner, Go Dante, the big mover, was 25-1. There's been a big gamble on him. Now backed into joint favourite at 11-2.
From 25?
From 25s, yeah. Right. Joint favourite at 11-2 along with Bo Zenith. Lump Sum, who was the favourite, moving the other way, was 5s now 8 to 1. There's a horse in here that I quite fancy for each way. 5 places, 14 to 1. I think that's a sweet each way shout.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Sun Sports Weekend Wager in partnership with Betfair. Make sure you give this video a like, let us know what you think of our bets in the comments, and subscribe to Sun Sports YouTube channel to make sure you never miss an episode. Follow Sun Sport and Sun Football on socials for your latest clips and news, and we'll see you back here next week. As always, if you're having a bet this weekend, please play responsibly and take time to think. Visit begambleaware.org.